What is the most disrespectful thing that someone has done in your home? Back in college, my roommates and I hosted a birthday party for a mutual friend at our apartment. Earlier that day we gifted her a pet goldfish because she had been talking about getting a fish. Fast forward to later in the night. Our male friend, let's call him Mike, decided he needed to find a way to impress our other friend, who I'll call Darla. Mike tries every lame joke and pick-up line on Darla and fails time and time again. Then he sees the goldfish in his tank and scoops him up in his hand. He says, "Check this out, Darla." He then plops the fish into his mouth and swallows it alive. My roommate and I immediately rush over and start trying to make Mike puke the fish back up. Darla quickly makes for the door and leaves the party. Sadly, that fish met its doom in Mike's stomach that night. He never apologized, although he did complain about severe stomach issues for several days afterwards. To summarize, bought a fish for a friend and another friend swallowed it alive at a party to impress flirt with someone. My wife's cousin was staying at our house because he is going through marital problems. One night I woke up in the middle of the night and I heard some change rattling. He walks down the hall with my 5-year-old's piggy bank. He was taking money from my beeping daughter's piggy bank to buy beer and smokes. This reminds me of when I was probably 6, and our housemate got her kid to steal the check I got for my birthday from my grandparents. It was probably like $40, but a lot of money to me as a child, and we didn't have a lot of money, so a lot of money to my mom too. My mom asked the lady about it and she completely denied it. Being 6, I went into their room and found it in her purse. My $40 thank you very much. Friend must have seen me once put in the code for my spare key lockbox, and I came home to her in my beeping house. Mind you, we're not close. Her excuse? She had to go to the toilet. Safe to say, I reset that beep and didn't invite her over anymore. Weirded me out. I had a best friend apparently steal my spare apartment key and made a copy of it. When I caught him at it, he tried lying, but I caught him in that, too. Long story short, he was apparently in love with me and was coming into my apartment while I was at work because he missed me so much. He also admitted to stealing a pair of my underwear. It's a very unsettling feeling, and really glad you caught your potential perv, too. My mom made a huge dinner for my aunt and cousins. They showed up 2 hours late, told my mom, "Oh sorry, the boys can't eat that much right now," and just went in our fridge and made them sandwiches instead. Constantly unplugging electronics. First it was the thermostat. She didn't like the sound the water heater made, then the Wi-Fi, the CIA was snooping on her, and finally my fridge. She was saving the environment. If anyone unplugged my fridge, I would gently guide them to the door, nudge them out and never talk to them again. Dude crapped his pants while sitting on my couch playing a video game and just sat there finishing the match. We were having an old-fashioned ALON party and the entire room cleared out. It's really not a true ALON party until someone shits themselves, to be honest. I was a kid, my mom had a friend and her son over. They were over for a couple hours and just as they were leaving I noticed all of my video games were gone. I told my mom. She goes, grabs his backpack, and of course they were all in his bag. His mother immediately came to his defense, saying he's got a lot of games and must have thought they were his. It didn't even make sense and she acted as if nothing had happened. Anyway, terrible mother, kid had no chance. He is now in jail for life, no parole, for shooting and killing a cop during a cocaine bust. Well, that escalated quickly. One night the girls who lived in the apartment across the hall brought a friend with them to hang with us. As soon as she walked in she screamed, "This will be hilarious." College guys always get the shitty, hand-me-down dishes from their parents. She walked into the kitchen and began pulling out pans and dishes and howling about how old and ratty they were. Our friends were mortified. When they tried to talk to her, she talked louder. After 30 seconds of this lunacy, my roommate and I told her to leave. She threw a giant fit and called us assholes. You can pry my shitty, hand-me-down pots and pans from my cold dead hands. I grew up with those. Had had a drunk party goer attempt to do pull-ups from the planks of my old ranch-style ceiling just beneath the heater vent and ended up pulling down a large portion of my ceiling. Refused to pay for it. Someone beeping broke my Super Smash Bros. For the GameCube. Capital punishment is the only reasonable response. Buddy from college was traveling through town and stayed with my wife and I for the weekend. Nothing crazy, hung out and remembered our college years. A few days after he left, my guest bathroom reeked. Took a bit to figure out but finally discovered an upper decker left for us. Disgusting. Years ago, my then boyfriend, now ex, came over to my house unexpected the day of my mom's birthday. My siblings and I were busy decorating. He made himself comfortable on the couch and played on this box. He was out of the way so I ignored him. Just before she gets home I make him turn off the console. Mom gets home and we do the whole surprise bit. Ex immediately, like, my mom hadn't even gotten past the entryway, grabbed the controller, turned this box on, slapped my ass and told me to get him a drink as he sat back down on the couch. I snatched the controller out of his hands and told him to go home. I met a cute girl through work. We got along pretty well and there was definitely flirting involved and I eventually got up the nerve to ask her out in a date. We get drinks and as things do, we ended up at my place. As I'm mixing up a couple of cocktails she just starts opening things. Drawers, cabinets, my fucking deep freeze. It took me a couple of seconds to fully grasp what she was doing and when I asked what the fuck she was doing. Just seeing what you got was her explanation. After that, I decided to keep our relationship strictly professional. We came home to something in my house burning. We put it out, with no help from her, and she spent the next 2 days bitching constantly about how my house smelled like smoke and she didn't like it. Bitch, go home then, my beeping house could have burnt down. Blew their vape smoke in my cat's face. I told her that wasn't okay and to never do it again. Then she promptly did it again. Told her again not to ever do that, so she blew it in my face. Kicked her out and haven't spoken to her since. I considered her a best friend, but that just shows so much disrespect and I don't keep true assholes around. My buddy came over with his son and me and my son and them were watching a wrestling pay-per-view. My wife and his wife went out shopping. They got back and the wife wanted to go home. We were on the last match, my friend and his son wanted to finish the show. She walks over and unplugs my TV. I was beyond pissed. My friend was too and began yelling at her and apologized to me and my wife. After that anytime we'd have any type of activity I purposely don't invite her. I had friends over in middle school to order food and hang out. I ordered a soda with my meal. My friend didn't, and upon delivery she realized the only available soda was the one I had ordered for myself. She said she always drinks soda with her food and cannot not drink soda with dinner, and instead of going to a deli to get her own or just sucking it up she took my ginger ale. It's not my fault she didn't think to order her own fucking soda. I haven't forgotten, Dibby. I made an account just to share this story. We had friends over for my girlfriend's birthday and to celebrate moving into a new apartment together for the first time. A guy we knew from college kept stealing people's drinks throughout the night and got incoherently drunk. He lived a couple hours away but got too drunk to go home, so we let him stay despite already having a friend from out of town who planned to stay with us. In the middle of the night, the drunk had stripped down, forced the other guest off the only air mattress and pooped himself massively. He then tracked poopy footprints all over the apartment, smacked poopy handprints on all the doorknobs, including in the bedroom where we were sleeping, covered all our towels and blankets in his butt sauce, and peed in some places. Oh, but it's not like he didn't make it to the bathroom. He left a second, possibly third shit in the toilet. No flush. No apology. Just left at like 6 AM, without his poopy underpants. Those he left on the ruined air mattress in a steaming heap. Needless to say, the surprise breakfast waffles for my girlfriend were not as enjoyable. My condo was having major work done to the whole building. The ceilings had to be torn up. I had my bed covered but still was very upset when I got home from work and saw that the workers threw a shovel full of dirt on my bed. I realized to them it is a workplace, but to me it is my home. They shouldn't have used my bed as a trash can.